So we were talking about the tissues becoming the organs. And we said that when we combine multiple tissues and the tissues which are basically serving for the same purpose. Remember, the things can be different. The things can be different, but if they are serving the same purpose, it would be basically called. They can be counted as a group. Suppose that there is an office, and in an office, you say that not only a chair can make an office. Serving the purpose of an office requires multiple things involving chair, table, maybe LCD, maybe a laptop, like different kinds of things are required to make an office. What does that mean? That means that if you are trying to make an office, or if you are trying to serve a purpose, any purpose, if you are trying to serve a purpose, you must very well aware that combining many different things can serve a purpose. Similarly, when we talk about when we talk about an organ is basically a particular part of your body that serves a purpose involving different tissues in it. So you can see epithelial, connective, nervous, muscular, all of these are serving one purpose, and that is digestion. So when you combine different things for a single purpose, that could be called as an organ. That could be called as an organ.
Okay.
So overall here you can see tissues which are basically combining in the which are basically combining in the organs to serve the same purpose. Okay. Then the next is, suppose that I talk about the kidney. I talk about the kidney. Now you know that kidney involves the three tissues. It involves the epithelial, it involves the nervous, and it also involves the um, connective. It may involve the muscular tissue, but that muscular tissue is so less in the kidney that we can ignore its presence. So there are three main tissues that are serving the purpose of kidney. And let me tell you one more thing. There are multiple types of epithelial tissue. Like suppose there is a tissue called as glandular tissue. Glandular. Glandular epithelium. You know what is the meaning of glandular epithelium? Meaning of glandular epithelium is an epithelium that secretes a chemical. And then there could be like epithelium I named as uh, you can say absorptive epithelium, which absorbs the things. So what I mean to say that if kidney is an organ and it is involving epithelial, nervous, and connective tissue, it does not mean that epithelial is only one type of tissue. Epithelial can have many subtypes. So saying it overall, when you combine different tissues for same purpose, it becomes an organ, and the same principle would be used here. Combining same or different organs for serving the same purpose. Now, what should it be? What should we name it?
Combining same or different organs for serving same purpose. What do you mean
Hmm.
by
Like, what would that make?
organ?
That would make an
Organ system. Organ system.
organ system. That would make
So
an organ system.
I just want to make sure is like for example the respiratory system or the digestive system, is that an organ
Mhm.
system? Okay.
Yes, these are
So
all organ systems.
what's after organ
Mhm.
system? What comes after
After,
organ
I'll tell
organ
you.
system?
I'll tell you. Let's first discuss the examples of the organ system. You named it yourself, so I will be discussing the digestive system first. First of all, defining a digestive system. Defining a digestive system basically means that we need to know what organs are going to be involved in the digestive. Oh, no. What is the purpose of the digestive system? The purpose of the major purpose is to digest or break the food. This is the major purpose. But
Yeah.
there is another purpose, and that is to absorb the food. These two
Yeah.
main purposes are there for the digestive system. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about, yes, one more purpose is there, and that is remove the food, remove the wastes, remove the undigested food. Waste or can also involve urine. Urine is not the part of the digestive system. Remove the undigested food. Okay, so let's first talk about the organs that are present in the digestive system. So, can you name the organs?
Stomach, kidney, liver, pancreas, small
In
intestine,
digestion,
large.
in digestive system.
Yeah.
Okay, the digestive system starts from mouth. Then the next organ is esophagus.
And then
Then
stomach.
stomach, small intestine, large intestine. These all organs collectively are known as alimentary canal. Alimentary canal, or in other words, you can name them as gut. Alimentary canal or gut. These organs through which the food actually moves. These organs are called as the alimentary canal or gut. But there are other organs that are also involved in the digestive phenomena. Can you name those organs?
Sorry, say that again. Can you repeat the question?
There are two other organs or three other
Yeah.
organs that are also involved in the digestive system. Can you name them?
Liver, pancreas.
Well done. Liver plus gallbladder, two, and third is the pancreas. These are, why did I separate these organs? Because basically the food does not pass through them. They
Yeah.
help in digestion, no doubt, but food does not pass. That is why they are not involved in the alimentary canal or gut, but yes, they are involved in the digestive system. So you see, every other part is an organ. Mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, liver, pancreas, gallbladder. Every other part is the organ, and every organ is involved in the for the same purpose. Then respiratory system. Okay. Then there is a system called as urinary system.
Yeah.
So what
Uh,
can you say about this system?
um, I can name two organs, the kidney
Sure.
and the kidney and the bladder.
Yes, pair of kidneys. There is another thing, ureters. Then there is bladder. Then there is a fine duct called as urethra. Now, these are four types of organs involved in the urinary system, but obviously, these organs are different but serving the same purpose. That is why they are called as they are the collection of these organs is called as the urinary system. Okay, next. Next is what would happen if you combine all the systems, all the organ systems to serve a single purpose. First of all,
So for
will
get the human life or just life in general.
individual. First of all, we'll talk about this, but first of all, tell me what other organ systems can you name?
Respiratory system.
Hmm.
Is vascular system a thing?
Yes, yes. It
Um,
involves your heart,
yeah.
arteries, veins, and capillaries.
And then respiratory is for the lungs, right?
Hmm.
Which what else? Um.
There could be like I also have named urinary system, digestive system.
Oh,
So could
nervous
there be like
system.
nervous system? Yes,
Yeah.
nervous system. And what organs are involved? Do you think in this?
Brain and neurons.
Brain and spinal cord mainly.
Okay. Okay. And then I think there's one skeletal and muscular system.
Skeletal and muscular system. Yes. The thing is that a skeletal and muscular system, they often are involved in they often are counted as tissues.
Okay.
They often are counted as tissues. But yes, you can say that yes, they are involved in the what we must say, they are involved in the system. Yes. Why they are involved in the system? No doubt you cannot call them organs, but they are so much organized that you can say that they are systems. Like muscular system is astonishing, the skeletal system is fabulous. So yes, but in the end, when all of these organs combined, organ systems serve a single purpose, that would make an individual. That would make an individual. Now, you just said one thing a few minutes ago, and that was uh, all of these systems combine to make life. Now, I
Yeah.
want to correct this statement. The life actually was formed when the cells were made. Like, do you know any unicellular life?
Something like an amoeba,
Yes. Any other?
bacteria.
Good. So, where did they start their life? They started their life at the levels of cells. It means being an individual does not mean that only you would have life. Any organism who has 1, 200, 2,000, 200,000, 1 trillion, 100 trillion cells, they would have life. Even a single cell is sufficient for life. That is why I'm saying that the life begins when the cell is formed. Now, you can say that this is the total, you can say, a combination of different things. required to achieve the formation of life. After this, only complexity increases. After this, only complexity increases. And that complexity would take you to individual, being an individual. So that is what the meaning of combination of all these things you can say. Organism or it, but you must know that at the cellular level, the life has started existing. Got that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a particular, you can say, a particular thing in the book you can see over here. This is a particular thing, and these questions, they have a very particular way of asking. They have a very particular way of testing you. So, and the very first question that I'm looking at is a very is it appears in the CIEs very often. So let's try doing some of these questions so that we can at least get aware of what kind of questions would appear, and then we can go to the past papers. So very first question is, animals and plants are made of cells, tissues, organs. The list contains some cells, tissues, and organs. Make a table with these headings. So you need to sort them out in the tables. So just make a table on your copy, and try sorting these out in that table. You don't need to write all these. Just make a table and start sorting them out. Got it?
Okay.
Okay, Hassan, I can see a few names over here that you might are not aware of. Just try
Okay.
the things, and once you are done, tell me. I'll correct those. Okay?
Okay. Okay, so I've done the organization and just some of them I don't know, I've just left.
Okay, so can you tell me
Okay, so
what
for
about
the
the please?
so the phagocyte, I don't know what it was, so I didn't put it.
hmm
What is
hmm
it?
It's a white blood cell.
So it's a cell.
Yes.
Phagocyte. And sperm, I put in cell.
hmm
Epidermis, I don't know what it was.
You sure about this? Because if I get back to the slides, I told you this yesterday.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was a cell or a tissue. So I put it in cell, but I wasn't sure.
Mm. It's a tissue because these are plant tissues.
Um, and then xylem, I put in cell.
Cell. Okay. So
Um,
what made you think that it is a cell?
because um, I think we covered it.
hmm
I think it's a tissue. It's a tissue, not a cell.
Yes. We did discuss xylem cell separately, but when the name xylem appears, always remember that it is referring to a tissue.
Okay.
It is referring to a
Yeah. Okay. It's a tissue
liver.
then.
Mhm.
Okay. So liver, organ, blood,
Mm.
tissue,
Good.
heart organ,
Mm.
leaf organ,
Good. Right.
ileum. I don't know. Ileum.
It is small intestine, part of small intestine, so it would go into organ.
Ovary organ,
Mm.
neuron. I put in tissue.
Okay, neuron and nerve. There are two names you will come across.
Yeah.
Neuron is always a cell, and nerve is a tissue. So, just for your information, change the category of neuron to the cell because neuron is a cell. But if you ever read a word nerve, Nerve, that is a tissue. Okay, then brain
Organ.
and stem.
Um, stem. I put in organ as well.
Yeah, good. Plant has four main organs: root, stem, leaf, and flower. So it is counted as an organ. All right. So arrange these biological terms in order of size. Like what is the smallest entity among all these and which one is the largest? So let's see how you can do it.
Okay. Um.
Second one.
Okay. So I've done cell, tissue, organelle, organ system, and then organism.
You put the organelle after the tissues. Where can we find the organelles, by the way?
Oh, in the cell.
Yes.
Okay.
Done?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Uh, every cell fitting my home. into 1 millimeter. Okay. The table shows the percentage of different cells in a human body. Complete the table to show the percentage of other cells in the body. Use the figures in the table to draw a pie chart. That is the practice for later. Okay. Copy and complete this table by placing a tick if the structure is present and cross if it is not. So, first, what do you have to do? There are organelles mentioned. There are organelles mentioned, and these organelles are supposed to be present either in plants or in animals or both. This kind of question also you can find in the past papers of CIEs. So these organelles can be found in either a plant cell or an animal cell. First of all, you have to define which is an animal cell and which is a plant cell.
Okay, so palisade cell is a plant cell.
Hmm. Mhm. So now you have to tick or cross that which one is present in which of them, or maybe in both of them.
Okay.
So let's see what you can do.
Yeah, I've done the ticks.
All right, let's see.
Okay, so
So cell
uh,
surface membrane.
it's present in both.
Hmm. Next.
Chloroplast is not present in liver but is present in the plant cell.
Hmm.
Cytoplasm present in both.
Hmm.
Cellulose cell wall not present in liver cell and present in palisade cell.
Hmm.
Nucleus present in both. Starch granule present in both. Glycogen granule present in both.
Nope.
And then,
Starch granule is found in palisade only, and glycogen granules are found in liver only, liver cell. Okay, let me give you a hint. The glycogen and starch both serve the same purpose. And what is this? The starch and glycogen are the reserve food molecules. Reserved food molecules. Like if you are not having your food for a long time, what you are going to do, you are going to break down starch if you are a plant, and you are going to break down the glycogen if you are an animal, and then you take it, you use it as a food. So it means that starch would be cross for liver cells, and glycogen would be a cross for palisade cell. But I
okay.
only might have told you about the starch in case of chloroplast. If you go to the chloroplast, you will find starch granules there, but we haven't discussed anything about the glycogen, so that is not a problem here. Now, large permanent vacuole.
So I remember that the liver had a vacuole, but it wasn't large. So I just put
Mhm.
no for liver cell and yes for palisade cell.
Yes, you are right. Liver might have a very temporary vacuole.
Yeah.
It means it is not permanent and it is very small, so it is not large. That is why it would be cross for liver. Okay, so All right, now the eighth one. Just draw a table on your copy and write A and mention the name of the organelle in like you would the number of the statement A, B, C like this, and put in front of it put the name of organelle. Let's see what we can do. The eighth question you are supposed to be doing. And yes, one more thing. You are supposed to be using this paragraph on the very next page to arrange the organelles in front of their relevant statements. Got the idea?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so Structure which contains chlorophyll.
Chloroplasts.
What about B?
Vacuole.
Good.
Uh,
C,
Cell wall.
D.
Cytoplasm.
Good. E.
DNA.
Okay, good. F.
Mitochondria.
Well then. G
Cell membrane.
and H.
Nucleus.
Nucleus. Well done. So that was a very good understanding over here. All right. So now we have. Let's do one more question, and which would help us in which would help us in getting better understanding. Okay. So this is not um, this question. We have done a similar one, like a question 11. So these are same different words, and these different words may be like they may be used in either of the paragraphs. So you are going to use these words
Okay.
in filling up all the paragraphs. What would you do? First, note down the words. Note down the words, and then I'll scroll down to the paragraphs. Okay,
Okay.
so note down the words first. Okay, once you have noted down the words, tell me. I'll tell you the meaning of a few words present over here.
Okay. Done.
Okay, excretory system. Excretory system basically is a system in which the waste materials are made and removed by the kidney. So it basically involves liver and the urinary system. So excretory system is going to be the one in which liver would make the waste and kidney would remove it.
Okay.
Then next word which I wanted you to know is the endocrine. Endocrine is a system in which all the hormones are involved. Secretions are in. So let's see whether you can you can place these properly or not.
Okay. So I'll do A. Mm,
You have done A?
No, I'll do A.
Okay,
Large
please go ahead.
numbers. Okay, I've done A, but I'm just wondering if there is a rule, like if the word can be used again.
Most of the time, yes, they are saying they may be used
Okay,
once, more than once, or not at all.
okay, I'll do B now.
Sure.
Okay, can you scroll down, please? Is there a D as well?
No, the C is the last one.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so let's begin with A.
Okay, should I read it with the words?
Um, okay, just yes, I guess we would have to read it, otherwise the next options would be next one would be difficult. So let's read it all along.
Okay. So large numbers of cells that have the same structure and
Hmm.
function are grouped together to form tissues. For example,
Hmm.
uh, I wrote xylem. Is that an
Hmm.
example?
Fine,
Yeah.
fine. Or you can also write the epidermis.
Okay.
That is also fine. Both are right.
So several separate tissues may be joined together to form an organ, which is a
Hmm.
complex structure capable of performing a particular task with great efficiency. In the most highly developed
Hmm.
organisms, these complex structures may work together in systems. For
Hmm.
example, the excretory system in humans is responsible for the removal of the waste if products of metabolism.
Good, 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 good. All right, then
Okay,
the structure
so
of cells.
the structure of cells may be highly adapted to perform one function. That is, the cells may become specialized. One excellent
Hmm.
example is the red blood cells,
Hmm.
which is highly adapted to carry oxygen in mammalian blood. If the different cells, tissues, organs of a multicellular organism perform different functions, they are said to show division of labor.
Hmm.
One consequence of this is the need for close coordination between different organs. This function is performed by the nervous and endocrine systems.
Hmm. That's very good. That's very good. Okay. Next.
In plants, an example of a cell highly specialized for photosynthesis is the chloroplasts, which contains
Hmm.
many palisade cells.
Hmm.
These cells
No,
are
no. Hold on. Which contains many
palisade cells.
highly specialized for highly specialized for photosynthesis is the a cell. Yes, is a cell highly specialized for photosynthesis is a palisade cell which contain many chloroplasts. You have
Oh, oh, it's the
written
other way
it
around.
opposite.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. These cells are located in the organ called the leaf. It also
Hmm.
contains other tissues such as uh, xylem,
Hmm.
which also contains other tissues, which limits water loss. And I didn't know what to write here, but I wrote phlegm.
Phloem. Phloem.
Um,
Phloem was here. Yes. Fine.
okay.
Very good. So that was a very good response. So that's all. I guess that these exercises are enough to understand that what we have done in overall in this chapter. So, any more question from this chapter?
No.
Okay. Now, why did I tell you? Why did I start it even when I started my trial lesson? Why did I start all the discussion from the chapter of cells? The reason of starting the whole discussion from the cell chapter is basically the is basically that everything is performed by the self. Everything is performed by the self, and overall understanding is that until you don't understand the self, you cannot even understand a single function of a living organism, and uh, you cannot even classify the organisms if you don't know the types of cells. Like you told me that you have studied about the classification of organisms. So have you?
Yeah, I think, yeah, we did do that.
Hmm. So My question is, okay, first of all, what do you already know about the classification? I will create a link between the cell chapter and classification after you have answered a few of my questions. So, what do you know about the classification?
Like how you classify living organisms into different categories.
Yes, it is basically an act to classify, or maybe grouping, or maybe categorization. So, it is an act. Now, every time when we classify the things or group the things, we need some criteria. Like, okay, you say that the the cell phone or watch that or smartwatch that you are using is better than others. Why why were you doing, like, why were you preferring one type of one type of gadget over other? You may have some criterion for that. You may have some criterion for that. Similarly, we often say that in a school we have different classes. All the students of a school belong to the same building, right?
Yeah.
Like, right from the very first group of the school till the most senior group of the school, all of the students are studying in the same building, and they are wearing the same uniform. They are belonging to the same school. But what is basically differentiating these students, if they belong to the same school, same building, what is differentiating these students?
Like age and all, like age, which class, something like
Hmm.
that.
Age, and the most important thing is the curriculum they are studying. Okay, you are in 10th or maybe ninth class. A student is maybe in the 10th or ninth class. On what basis? Ninth is nothing. Ninth is no name. What is this? It's the curriculum that these students are about to study. So basic theme of this whole discussion is that when you are talking about the classification, you must have a strong criteria to differentiate between the organisms. And and the most important part of this whole thing is the criteria involves the criteria of the biological classification that we often do. The criteria for biological classification is the similarities and differences. Similarities and differences in what? Similarities and differences between cells, similarities and differences between the genes or DNA, similarities and differences between the possession of organelles, similarities and differences between the possession of different proteins or molecules. Some organisms contain a protein and some don't. Proteins or other molecules. So you can say that what we are going to do, we are going to put, we are going to use the criteria of similarities and differences, and those similarities and differences were based upon, they were based upon multiple things. They are based upon multiple things. Let me get you back to the previous example of the students. Like, if we say that students are differentiated, many students are in the same class. On what criteria the students are supposed to be in the same class?
The same age and the same curriculum.
Same age is not necessary. Same curriculum.
Same curriculum.
Okay, yes, I am making a new Jamboard. You must copy the link. I guess you have got the link in the text box.
Yeah.
So copy the link with you. So the same curriculum. This same curriculum basically is making the students stay in a class. Suppose uh, we know that another subject of our IGCSE is the ICT, right?
Yeah.
Computer science. When you are studying English, Islamiyat, Pak study, mathematics, maybe some other language or some other subject, you all are sitting in the same class,
Yeah.
physics, chemistry. Suddenly, when the bio class comes, many of the students they stand up and go to the other class. Why? That was the curriculum which was basically differentiating between these two types of students, between these two types of groups. So wherever the similarity, wherever the similarity exists, wherever the similarity exists, the group remains same. The group remains same. But if the difference is there, the group would change with the difference, with the differences. Now, the basic criteria, I mentioned many criteria to differentiate the biological objects. The very first criteria was difference between the cells. You must know that biological, if you talk about the biological classification, if you talk about the biological classification, always remember that the biological classification, the basic criteria for every biological classification is the cells, or you can, in other words, say cellular organization. What does that mean? You need to understand the cells as much as you can so that you can differentiate different organisms, meaning that the understanding of cell is, without the understanding of cell you cannot even do the classification. How you can how you can do how you can understand different phenomena of life if you don't understand the cell? You cannot even do the classification without understanding the cell. So the
Yeah.
very first criteria for the differentiation of every type of group is differentiating the cells. Okay. So when we talk about biology, we talk about life. And life is with cells. No cells, no life. So, okay. It means that, first of all, we need to understand that what are the types of life. That is quite a strange statement. Types of life, in other words, known as domains of life. The types or domains of life is based upon the basic cellular difference. Basic cellular difference. And what is that? There are majorly two types of life. One is called as prokaryotic life, and the other one is called as a eukaryotic life. You can say these are different types of cells, or you can say these are different types of life. Why am I saying that these are different kinds of life? Because before this, like you can say without these, there can be no life. If you consider a prokaryotic cell or prokaryotic life, that means it contains a prokaryotic cell. If you consider a eukaryotic life, it means it contains a eukaryotic cell. Overall, the type of life or domain of life is divided into two categories, and that is the prokaryotic life and eukaryotic life. And what is similarity between them? Okay, if I ask you to find out the similarity between a prokaryotic and eukaryotic life, what similarity could you find?
For example, what do you mean, like based on organelles?
No, the similarity between prokaryotic life and eukaryotic life is that both contain cells. That's all.
Yeah, yeah,
So, on this base, you can call them living. Fine. But right after that, we know that there are many differences. The very first difference is the type of cell. Yes, they are same on the basis of cell. On the basis of cell, the common thing between both of these things is life. But the cells are not the same. Type of cell is changed. The cells are not the same, and you can say that the cells are actually the cells are actually different, and they are this is enough criteria to differentiate the types of cells. Enough criteria to differentiate the types of cells. So then what difference is there? Now, luckily, we already know what is the difference between the prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Do we know that already?
yeah.
So it means the very first criteria for classification is understanding of the cells, that whether they are prokaryotes or they may be eukaryotes. There is another domain of life, another domain that was recently discovered in past 10 years, and that domain was archaea. So basically there are three domains, but I haven't discussed that yet. Let me tell you, there are three types of cells, and we are not going to discuss the differences between the archaea, prokaryotic, and eukaryotic. Just telling you that there is another type of cell that can differentiate from other two types. The archaea is different from prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So that is important to know. Why? Because the archaea has been discovered. But the overall concept is same, that the common thing between archaea, prokarya, and eukarya is that they all contain the cells. This is the common thing. And the difference is that their cells have different kinds of chemicals or organelles or the other things. Got that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is why I was emphasizing on the topic of cells at the very beginning, because you cannot even understand the classification without the understanding of cell. How can you understand the whole biology without understanding the cells? So now, on the basis of these, we initiate the classification. All right. You know that there is a rule of every classification. Rule of every classification. And that is, We move from more similar objects, sorry, we move from less similar objects to more similar objects. What does that mean? Suppose that if I speak a name in front of you, I speak car, I speak car, or maybe I speak motorbike. Does this word represents more similar objects or less similar objects?
More similar.
Mhm. If I say means of transportation, does it represent more similar objects or less similar objects?
More similar.
More similar. Why would it be more similar?
Because you're categorizing something and then that category so that the person thinks about the items in that category or similar to that category.
How many items can you think in the ways of transportation?
So car, bus, plane, train, motorbike, boat,
Mhm. Mm.
spaceship.
So is it more similar? It is less similar. You know why they are less similar? Because there is only one thing that is making them similar, and that is
Mode of transportation.
transportation. There are a lot of differences between all these things, but only one thing is similar. That is why I would always say that if I mention ways of transportation, it means it is a it is a category, it is a category with less similarities and more differences. But why am I putting all the ways of transportation in this category? Because I am moving from less similar to more similar. Okay, now suppose that I create a category among ways of transportation. I say that transportation by road. Now, compared to the first group, does it contain more similar or less similar?
Uh, Less similar. Like the
No,
only thing
why?
that is similar is by road.
Hmm. But compared to the above one,
Yeah,
compared
then
to
it's
the above
similar.
one,
Then it's
yes, that is the point. We are moving from less to more. Like in ways of transportation, I could have said plane, ship, and maybe some other, like there are many other things, gliding and these different things. Okay, but I have now categorized very clearly that I'm only talking about by road. Okay, by road I mean the other category. Next category is uh,
wheels or something.
maybe yes. Let's say I say that two wheels or three. Yeah. Mm, yes, by road or like okay. I can differentiate it like on ground, on ground, like it is not in the air, not in the water, on ground. And in on ground, I can say yes. Now I can say by road. Why did I do that? That on ground we can also use train, but it is not by road. So it may be more, it may was representing more similarities, but compared to the next group, it is containing less similar or less similar means. Then keep on specifying until you go to a specific group. until you go to a specific group. That is the theme of classification, moving from less similar to more similar. Got that?
Yeah.
All right, then we'll be discussing further tomorrow. Any problem?
No.